Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel today, and happy first day of spring. Look what bloomed for me for the first day of spring. This is the Cattleya that Patrick sent me back in September. It's in full bloom, and I must say I can hardly speak when I look at this Cattleya. It's just so very beautiful. I have been away from my channel for a while, and a few of you already are aware. My father, he relocated to heaven on March 9th. So just kind of wanted to do this in memory of him. I wanted to share some beauty because, you know, God is always faithful to me and to my family. And I just thought, you know, I want to check in with you all and let you know what's been going on with me and share the beauty of my orchids. I believe that not only do animals know that something's going on, I believe your plants do as well, because this year they have never bloomed prettier for me than this year. My orchids are just simply stunning. It has just been such a joy and a comfort at the same time to look at all these beautiful blooms, and that's just what I'm wanting to share with you all today. And of course, my Leah Gloriana, she is also in full bloom. Wow, I have 3 full spikes that are like 9 blooms a spike. And then I've got a few of them that just had 1 little bloom that I think, well, that's interesting. It's never done that for me before. So let me show you these canes that just have 1 bloom on them, because they're very charming. And you can see how saturated this color is. It is just the most intense red, magenta, pink, orange, yellow. It's just absolutely beautiful. But in this shot, you can actually even see the veining in the lip, how beautiful that is. As you all know, I've had Gloriana in my collection for 20 years. She is the first orchid that I had long-term success with, and I am so very, very proud of her. And here's my little Falso red poker. And as you see, what a beautiful bloom cycle this has been. And also the spikes have elongated and I have more buds. Actually, I have 10 more buds yet to open on this beautiful little Phal. When I first started growing orchids, I can remember if I got 9 blooms on a spike, that was a win for me. So it's just so wonderful to be able to go through so many years with orchids. I've been growing them for about 22 years. And you kind of catch a glimpse of how you're to grow them in your environment. And then all of a sudden you start having success. And this kind of thing happens, and it just makes me happy. And I could not wait to share with you the beautiful blooms on my Phal legato this year. There are 18 of these blooms. Each one of them is unique. This is a pyloric variety of legato. Each one of them is ruffled differently, and it's absolutely magnificent. And I have 10 more buds on this spike. So let me see if I can kind of just barely, yes, show you the top as well. See all the buds that are still about to bloom. I moved this one in my kitchen before it got cold because I wanted the temps to be just as normal as could be. I wanted to keep her under a very, with the temperatures more balanced, so that I didn't have the ups and downs that I do back here in the sunroom. So you see, that's what I got this year. I'm so happy. Again, I look at these blooms and I can hardly speak. So I just so enjoy sharing these beautiful blooms with you all. And here's my beautiful Falso Lawrence Tahiti Sunset. I know that this one has its own fan club as well. These blooms are just simply beautiful. I know that it's really odd that this one just doesn't seem to get bud blast. I can leave it back here with more unstable temperatures and it just blooms away, doesn't matter. Do you all have orchids that it seems like they get bud blast easier than others? I do. So I just took notes a few years ago and I thought, okay, the ones that have bud blast, you know, if we get these cold blasts in the middle of the winter, I'm just gonna move them in where the temperatures are more stable. But isn't that beautiful? That is a gorgeous little orchid. Proud of that one. And here's my other Tahiti sunset. They were marked exactly the same, but these blooms are not exactly the same as the first one that I just showed you. This one is the one that my daughter gave me. And the other one, I just could not let it live in the grocery store anymore, you know? So this one is the one that grows in live sphagnum moss. Just a beautiful little plant, but it's so different than the other one. It grows more compactly, and the flowers are more compact as well, but beautiful and charming. And pretty much the whole room back here is blooming. As you see to the extreme left, my beautiful little Dendrobium Solea champu is still in bloom. That is the spike that was blooming in October, is still blooming in March. And then of course, here's my two Tahiti sunsets, and they get the morning sunlight in these eastern facing windows. And for those of you who have been watching my channel for some time, the miniature white Phalaenopsis that I nicknamed Star, it has like 40 blooms on it, just absolutely beautiful. In the middle is a Phalaenopsis that my daughter picked up for me last year for Mother's Day. The rebloom on that one was so-so. I think there's about maybe 10 blooms on that one, but it's the first rebloom. So, you know, sometimes it takes them a while after they're in your home to kind of get their footing and really bloom for you well. And then beside of that is my Phal Splendid. Actually, that one's called Purple Dust. And these are secondary spikes that you see here. And I can see, about 9 more buds that are going to open up on that plant. Just gorgeous. And this is the spike on my magic art this year. As you all know, I have got some very beautiful and unusual blooms this year off of this plant. Look at this. Isn't that just the neatest thing? They keep blooming out just a little bit differently, all of them. And of course, I've got a beautiful spike of just the regular magic art, individually painted blooms. They're just gorgeous. Okay, here's the spike. I will start from the top and slowly work my way down. Yes, this spike has just been stunning this year. This plant has really shown off. And here is my kaleidoscope Phal. Very good bloom cycle off of that one as well. And right behind that, to the left, if you'll notice, there is a huge spike on my Phal Chin Diamond. That's going to be some really, really pretty flowers on that spike. So it should be blooming here in about, probably about 6 weeks or so. Yes. And here is my DTPS Brothers Red Caribe. This is the best bloom cycle I've had from this plant ever. And I think I've had it in my collection for about 10 years. Most of these larger Phals I've had anywhere between 10 to 14 years, and I believe this is a Phal I've had about 10 years. The foliage on that one is gigantic. It's got 12 leaves. Let me see if I can get a close-up of that for you. This is the foliage. The rule of thumb is when you've got really, really great foliage, then you're usually going to get rewarded with really, really great blooms. That is the case here. This is a beautiful plant. And here is beautiful Phal Marianne. I've had her for about 12 years. She reminds me of a cafe latte because the blooms are just exactly that color with a red lip. And here is Phal Brother Pirate King. And this one is so large, it has so many blooms, and the blooms are very heavy that I have to counterbalance it with well, I will show you. I have this owl. Do you see? My little stone owl there. He counterbalances all these blooms. I had to put this in a very, very large outer pot, and like I said, counterbalance it, because one day about 2 weeks ago it fell over and about 6 blooms fell off of it. Yes, so when you have huge spikes like this, they get very, very heavy, and if you don't have something to weight them down inside an outer pot, they will fall over on you. So that is the only bad thing, though, about having many, many blooms on your orchids. So just, yeah, I'll deal with that. I'll take it. And here's my little Falso Vivian. This one also will bud blast very easily on me. So this one has been blooming in my kitchen, and I haven't had any bud blast this year. For the past 2 years, it was back here in my sunroom, and half of the buds blasted. So I'm just really happy that this one is so pretty this year. It put on a very good show. And I notice even more buds right here. So this one is very, very happy. And here is my Phal Speciosa times Equestris Rosea. This is the one that my daughter picked out 12 years ago. I bought this one in Lowe's for like $6. That was a really, really good $6 buy. This is the best bloom cycle I've had. I have had it in my kitchen just simply because I love looking at it all the time. This is one of my all-time favorites. I just love this little orchid. This is the reason why I continue to do what I do. This is the reason why I enjoy teaching you all what I've learned, so that you all can have success, is so that you can have these plants for many years, enjoy them. You develop almost a history with them, and I just love this one. And the final shot of this video is going to be my beautiful no ID Cattleya that Patrick sent me. I simply call him Patrick the Cat, or Patrick the Cattleya. So I just think he is absolutely stunning. I also find it interesting that Patrick sent this to me right after my mom relocated to heaven, and then it is blooming when my father relocated to heaven. My mom relocated on 9/3. My dad relocated on 3/9. My dad was a numbers guy, but he loved my orchids. He didn't grow them, but he loved them. But just wanted to do this video in Mom and Dad's memory. They were always so stunned by my orchids, and that just kind of gave me a lot of pleasure to watch them looking at them. So thank you all so much for watching, and I would love to say the blessing over you and your families. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you His favor and give you His peace. Make it a great day. We'll see you next time.